order, if I could, please. I'd invite you all to rise and join in the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. Phyllis, if we could have roll call, please.
Craig Koshaw.
Here.
Matt Dyer.
Here.
Tyler Fulenkamp.
Here.
Scott Murray.
Here.
Wiley Sir.
Here. You were all emailed a copy of our minutes from our December 5th meeting. You've all had a chance to review those minutes. I'd look for a motion to either amend or approve those minutes.
I'll make a motion to approve those minutes.
I'll second that. I have a motion and a second to approve our minutes from our December 5th meeting. All in favor? Aye. Opposed, the same. Thank you. First thing that we have, Phyllis, is a resolution for transfer of funds from several different departments. And I'm going to let Phyllis elaborate
Okay.
to the extent that she wants to.
This is just in each department's budget. We had to transfer some funds. They're not spending any more money. It's just they may have ran short in one account to another, so it's just transfers in that. So, do you want me to read all these transfers? I can.
Fine.
Mayor, transfer $50 from printing and advertising to office supplies. City Hall, transfer $4,400 from utility services to repairs to maintenance, and that's due to all the repairs that we've had here on the building. $2,000 from machinery equipment to repairs and maintenance. Police, transfer $4,605 from operating to benefits. Transfer $3,380 from professional services to machinery and equipment. Fire, transfer $3,000 from repairs and maintenance supplies to other supplies. Transfer $20 from repairs and maintenance supplies to rentals. Transfer $2,000 from professional services to machinery and equipment. Common Council, transfer $4,100 from buildings to utility services. We had extra utilities for the Marks building we didn't account for. Transfer $250 from buildings to other services. Sanitation, transfer $2,000 from operating supplies to communication and transportation. $2,900 from operating supplies to printing and advertising. Transfer $3,600 from other services and charges to repairs and maintenance. $6,000 from machinery and equipment to repairs and maintenance. MVH Street Fund, transfer $5 from operating supplies to office supplies, $1,800 from repairs and maintenance supplies to communication and transportation, $700 from utility services to printing and advertising, $3,800 from repairs and maintenance to insurance, $6,100 for repairs and maintenance to rentals. And I think that big amount for rentals was we rented equipment for the sewer project or Master Drive. Probably both of them.
It was 4 or 5 projects.
Okay.
We rented out larger excavator for in-house work.
Park and Rec, transfer $1,500 from operating supplies to office supplies, and $100 from operating supplies to machinery and equipment, $6,300 from repairs and maintenance supplies to repairs and maintenance. Can't remember what that big one was. To you, Jeremy?
Yeah.
Park and Rec.
What's that?
Park and Rec's big amount, $6,300 from repairs and maintenance supplies to repairs and maintenance. Can't remember what that big jump was. Did you buy some kind of repair for the Park and Rec? I don't remember. Lowell Public Safety, $2,800 from buildings to machinery and equipment. So I just need a vote on that. If it's okay, go ahead and transfer those negative balances.
So this would be by way of a resolution authorizing the transfer of these funds, and would be Resolution 2017-16. Are there any comments on any of this? This is all kind of end of the year normal things that we have. So, if not, I'd look for
I'll make a motion to
introduce
Resolution 2017-16.
Oh, let me take that back. I'm sorry. These resolutions are all messed up because 16 was Bank of Geneva annexation from the last meeting, and then we're going to have another one.
That an
So
ordinance?
this is actually number
This is
18. I forgot to
There was a
change that.
resolution and an ordinance.
18.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So this will be 2017-18.
Yeah.
Okay, then I would place,
And that too.
make a motion to introduce Resolution 2017-18 on, it's,
By short title.
by, yeah,
By short title.
by short title only.
Yes, thank you. Tim?
Sir.
Second.
Second.
Oh, second. Thank you.
Is there a vote?
All in favor? Aye. Opposed? Tim?
Resolution number 2017-18, short title, a resolution authorizing the transfer of funds.
Make a motion to pass Resolution 2017-18.
Second. A motion and a second to pass Resolution 2017-18 for transfer of funds. All in favor? Aye. Opposed, the same.
Yep.
Next up on the agenda is a request to encumber funds from the 2017 budget to the 2018 budget from various departments. And again, I'll turn this over to Phyllis.
Okay, what I'd like to encumber for the police department out of the general fund is payroll for Greg's payout for his final retirement check, first response police reserve for uniforms, first response police uniforms for 3 new officers, and first response police badges. That total comes to $31,397.94. And then to encumber to the common council budget, Felgerhart, City Hall's HVAC repairs, and Primco Madison Street Plaza project. That comes to $80,320. A total for the general fund would be $111,717.94. For the MVH Street Fund, Arnold Lumber Company for materials for improvements to storage building, and W.A. Jones Truck Bodies and Equipment snowplow for the dump truck. That totals for the MVH Street Fund, $14,468.40.
What was the materials improvements for the storage building?
Metal ceiling insulation for our storage, our third building that we store our equipment in.
The Public Works building?
Still has no ceiling, no walls or anything from when it was built back in the late 80s.
Okay. Just curious.
We're doing all that in-house, so we're just buying materials as we go.
You need a motion?
She's still reading.
CCD Fund, MLS Engineering, balance of the design plan for Hannah Nutman Park, $8,632.50. The Lowell Public Safety Fund, Brigade Electronics for 360-degree camera system for the fire truck. Tom Kelly Ford, 3 new police vehicles, less their trade-in. And Motorola for handheld radios, programming equipment. That totals $81,163.43. So all the funds that weren't used in 17 will be invoiced in 18. The total comes to $215,982.27. So I just need approval to be able to do that.
I'll make a motion to encumber funds from 2017 to 2018 as read.
Second. We have a motion and a second to encumber the funds that Phyllis read off. All in favor? Aye. Opposed, the same. Thank you.
And then I have one more request.
Mm-hmm.
The facade program, a lot of the people that were awarded money didn't get their projects completed. So we use CEDAP monies on this, so it's not a really appropriated account. So I just need council's approval. I won't encumber it. I just roll the money over.
You say they didn't get it done, or they're
Right.
not going to do it?
They're not going to do it in 17. They're going to do it in 18.
So we roll that money back?
So if I can,
And make
if you
it
guys,
available.
we've already budgeted $50,000, but what we haven't spent this year is $32,877. If we could roll that, or I'm sorry, it's $38,346.64.
So next year there could be 80,000 approved.
Not really. The people that we awarded the facade program money to this year, either we're able to start their projects this year, or there'll be invoices for work that was done in 2017 that'll be paid in 2018.
So some of this is...
So this money will all be spent by the folks that were awarded facade money this year.
Okay, they are going to do the these aren't people who backed out. These are...
There was just, life happens and part of it's
Didn't
going to
get,
happen
yeah,
next year.
yeah, gotcha. So we should likely have, but there was no carryover then from 2017 to 2018? I mean, is it going to be just 50,000, Or will there be any carryover that we know of? I guess we won't know that
That's what
till
I'm
we get these bills.
requesting. That's what I'm requesting.
Yeah, we won't know that
what-
till we get the bills.
Right.
Yeah, okay. Yeah.
If you guys are okay with that.
Everybody good with that?
Yeah.
Motion?
Make a motion to approve.
Oh, second.
Motion and a second to approve Phyllis delaying, how do you want to say this, Phyllis? And
Carry on.
Just carry over the
To 2018.
money.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed, the same. Next thing is conflict of interest disclosure statements for various employees. I think Phyllis has a list of employees that, for one reason or another, need to declare conflict of interest.
I have several.
There's several.
If you can, just hold on just a second. Let me-
Those are all, I remember finding a real bunch of them.
There's a lot of them. This is conflict of interest. This is anybody that's an employee that is also has a business and does work for the city. They're just disclosing that they have a contract with us. And they are James Hitchcock for Hitchcock Concrete, Tim Bauman for Bauman Upholstery, Taylor Gage for TG Concrete, Jeffrey Sheets for, I'm not sure what he does here, hold on, fabrication and welding and repair products. Don Bergdahl for Beer's Den Embroidery and Bergdahl Properties. Tim Baker for DeVos Johnson Zwick Baker and Ainsworth Professional Land Title Company. Greg Kitson for Mind's Eye Graphics. Anthony Stimson for, how do you pronounce that? AUG?
Emergency response kits.
AGAW Trauma Systems. Tim Allman for Allman's Carpet and Furniture Cleaning. I think that's it.
Okay.
So we just need to make these a matter of record. These will be filed with the State Board of Accounts and also with the county clerk.
So moved.
Pat, a second.
Motion and a second to make the conflict of interest disclosure statements a matter of record. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? The same. Next thing is also a matter of record, and that is the appointment to the Alcohol Beverage Commission. And I contacted Pete Brown, who has served on that, I think, the last 2 years. He's agreed to serve again next year. So I need to make it a matter of record for Pete Brown's appointment to the Alcohol Beverage Commission.
So moved.
Second.
Have a motion and a second to make that a matter of record. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed, the same. Next is signing of certifications for elected officials in reference to the nepotism policy for hiring and contracting. We will sign these certifications and then make them a matter of record. Does that sound right, Phyllis?
Yep. This is required by the state that any elected official is not, or is following the nepotism rule with contracting and hiring family members. So Tyler, I need you to fill one out. Oh, and you have a conflict of interest for your business too, Campman. Mayor, Matt, Craig Wiley, and myself. And this one is for the nepotism. This is the nepotism for hiring. Yep. And the next one is for contracting with people that were complying to the nepotism rule.
One for Tyler.
Tyler, Mayor. Matt and Scott. Craig Wiley. And myself.
There's some signed ones. What is this?
This is the
Tyler's.
Tyler's for
Oh, I know. Bring him in early.
Here.
A lot of paper.
Is he supposed to sign, is he supposed to sign there?
Yeah.
Gosh.
Come on, Tyler.
Gosh, Tyler, you're going to have to go to Saturday school.
You want me to sign another one there?
Tyler's reading it before.
Oh, yeah, he reads it.
That's good.
Better get it
Fine,
on.
Tyler.
We call it. Braille?
Just don't sign it.
Idiot Braille.
And he couldn't have a short name like Jones. Huh? Full name.
Thank you. Now if we can make these about a record, please.
There we go. Look for motion for that.
So moved.
I'll second that.
Motion and a second to make all of the certifications for elected officials in reference to the nepotism policy a matter of record. I have a motion and a second. All in favor? Aye. Opposed, the same. And we're moving right along. Briefly, we'll mention ordinance 2017-15, which was our utility ordinance. Kevin has been working diligently, talking with, what's the name of the company? Amston, who's the company that we get our software from, and I think he's making some good progress. Him and Kathy and Aaron, they had a conference call with a salesperson from Amston, and on the conference call, it was a video session where they could look at what this new system would look like should we buy it. And it was pretty impressive.
Yeah, there's a lot of neat options with it.
A lot of great options that we would really be beneficial if we're going to move forward with the ordinance that we likely will have adopted in January sometime. We're not ready to do that yet. We've also got some forms from the city of Auburn that we're kind of using them as a model to every property owner that has a tenant living in that property would be able to, they would have to sign allowing the utility account to be billed to the tenant if they want. It's an option, or it could be billed to the property owner. What's the other form for?
No, the other form is an application that anybody requesting utility service from the city would have to fill out.
Beforehand.
Yeah, so they'd have to come in, show ID, fill out an application. If it's a rental property or land contract, they would need the owner to come in and sign as well, stating that they are the tenant on the lease.
In the discussion with the software people, it's not cheap. Probably going to be $28,000 or more for everything. That's for the software, the installation, training, archiving.
Data conversion, all that stuff, yeah.
Yeah, so basically the money we might save 4 years from now would be reinvested in the new software, but with the ease that it will help the utility department and long-term, the help it's going to give the property owners, I think it's...
Yeah, there's some neat features that it has just for the general public. There's customer portal that they could put on our Decatur website that every customer could go click on that, review their bill, check their usage, pay their bill. A few different options of doing that. It allows us to e-bill, send e-bills by email rather than physically stuff all the envelopes. We are talking about going to postcards here in the next 6 to 9 months anyways, as far as for the billing. And so the software would help that process along too, so.
Now, to do this, the fact that it's $28,000, we would have to look around. And Phyllis, what's the company you use?
Keystone.
Keystone also can manage the master metering system that we use. Byrne uses Keystone to manage their master meters. And so we're likely going to get a complete price from them as well.
Yes.
And, you know, see what their system can do. But long story short, I think that we're a matter of a month or so away to getting some new software, which is much needed.
Yeah, the software we have now does fine for what it does, but
It just doesn't do a lot other than bill.
just to get into this decades
Mhm.
sort of technology, then yeah, we need to update. And it'd be better.
As
for
we,
the future.
we're waiting on Crow Hawa to come back to us with our
Rate study.
rate study for a new water plant and, how much would have to increase our rates, whatever. So once we know that, then Tim will be discussing with bond counsel as to a bond. So the sooner we get our bond, the better we think, because interest is not going to go down anytime soon. So we likely will pay this with bond funds, although we may kind of borrow it from another fund within the city and then reimburse it by way of the bond when we get the bond. So that's where we're at. We're not ready to take any action tonight. I just wanted to mention it. The people that were at the last meeting, all but a couple of them, they gave me their email addresses, and I emailed them and told them that they really didn't need to come tonight, that we weren't going to make any decision. We likely won't make any decision January 2nd either. I would say that the soonest would be the week of this January 16th, at the second meeting in January, before we'll be prepared. Any questions, comments? Just appreciate you looking.
Yeah. We're trying to get all
Long-term
the-
solution. That's what
Trying
we're
to get
looking
all the T's crossed and I's dotted before we get the ordinance written, so that way it can all be included in one ordinance. And
It's coming together. It's been very frustrating, but it's coming together, and we'll get there. So, yeah, thanks, Kevin, for all the effort you've been putting into this.
no
Do
problem.
you have any comments on that, Tim? Yeah.
Do we need to table that ordinance again?
Yeah, probably so for now.
Need a motion to table ordinance 2017-15, if I could, please.
I'll make a motion to table ordinance 17-15.
Second. Have a motion and a second to table ordinance 2017-15 on its third reading by short title. All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed?
Didn't we just scrap the ordinance?
Not yet. We won't.
Eventually we
We'll strike
will.
it when we get to that
It'll be
point.
stricken, you'll adopt no, actually, you move to strike it from the record or stricken it, and then it's as if it was never introduced, and then you start over with the new ordinance. So.
Okay. Next thing is a third reading of ordinance 2017-17, I think.
Yeah, I better double check that one, please.
Last I knew it was,
Which is the
but
Bank of Geneva ordinance, yes.
I'm gonna look at that,
Annexation.
'cause I had to change some things.
So this would be the third and final reading. Do you have a copy of that for Tim, Phyllis?
Only 3 pages this year. That's correct.
okay, you ready for the motion? No?
Now I am.
Oh, okay. I will make a motion to place ordinance 2017-17 on its third reading by short title only for the Bank of Geneva.
Second. A motion and a second to place ordinance 2017-17 in its third reading by short title only. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed, the same. Tim?
Ordinance number 2017-17, short title, an ordinance of the Common Council of the City of Decatur, Indiana, which annexes certain territory to the City of Decatur, Indiana, commonly known as the Bank of Geneva Property Annexation.
Make a motion to adopt ordinance 2017-17 on its final reading.
Second. I have a motion and a second for adoption of ordinance 2017-17. Have a roll call vote, please.
Craig Koshaw,
Yes.
Matt Dyer,
Yes.
Tyler Fulenkamp,
Yes.
Scott Murray,
Yes.
Wiley Sir.
Yes.
Ordinance number 2017-17 has been adopted. Next, I'll turn it over to Tim. 10 years ago or so, after the casting property was razed and tore down, it was kind of given to the city of Decatur, but we never really had title for it. And Tim, you want to explain that?
Basically what happened is Margaret Chrisley acquired the property from Hamilton Foundry when Hamilton Foundry went into bankruptcy. Subsequently, she fell into arrears on property taxes. Eventually, the county took a deed in lieu of foreclosing on the taxes. It was a quitclaim deed from Ms. Chris Lieb to the county. The city and the county worked to clean up the property, take down the building, which was in a state of disrepair and it was dangerous in its condition. And then eventually the county transferred ownership to the city under a provision or an agreement with the county that the city would ultimately market the property. If the property were sold, the county and the city would each be reimbursed for expenses related to the cleanup of the property, and if there was still anything left over, it would be split equally between the two entities. We waited until we got beyond 10 years in which to file the quiet title action. The reason for that is one of the elements that you're alleging is that you have established adverse possession of the property. You can tack the ownership of the county to that of the city as long as the combination of the two were continuous over a 10-year period. The occupation was open, notorious, exclusive, adverse. Then you can claim adverse possession. You file the action with the court, and the reason that you do that is a quitclaim deed is something that you cannot get title insurance for if you transfer ownership. A title company will not warrant title if it's based on a quitclaim deed. So in order to be able to transfer ownership and provide title insurance to a potential buyer, you have to go through the court and quiet title, get a court order basically saying that all rights to others have been cut off, the city now is the true owner, and then this document will be certified by the clerk. It gets recorded with the county recorder, and that puts the world on notice that the property is now owned by the city. So we've now completed that. Craig was kind enough to come up to the courtroom the other day.
Thanks, Greg.
Sit through a hearing.
We sued everybody.
We sued the world, which is what you have to do in a quiet title action. So, but that's now been done. So, it's important to get this completed because if we do have somebody that comes along and expresses interest in the property, we're in a much better position to be able to transfer ownership by virtue of the fact that we now are clear owners of the property.
I want to thank Tim for an excellent job in taking care of it. I know it's been a 10-year process, my friend, but it was very interesting to go through the proceedings. Thank you.
So if I could, I'd probably just like to make a matter of record the decree quieting title to the real estate.
I make a motion that we make this a matter of record. Second.
Motion and a second. All in favor? Aye. Opposed, the same. Is this for Phyllis or is this yours?
No, Phyllis should, and I don't know if you've received it, but the clerk should provide you with a certified copy that we record. I'll check. If you haven't gotten it, I'll check with them to see. Okay.
This is interesting, some of the names on this thing, too.
You start from the original government patent, and you sue everybody that's ever been in the chain of title down to the current day.
How far back? People last name Mivers.
Usually, most properties...
Samuel Rugg on it or anything?
Most properties were originally transferred out in, I think it was in 1840s.
Okay.
Somewhere around
Yeah.
Who's the beginning, Ken?
John Dawson
Okay.
and Rachel Dawson.
Hmm.
James Krabs, Lucinda Krabs, John Mivers Sr.
You recognize some of those names from subdivisions throughout the county.
There's a lot of Mivers.
Street names and
Schermeyer on here.
board of directors of
So it's interesting.
organizations.
There you go, Phyllis. Thank you, Tim.
Yeah, thanks a lot. That was quite educational, my friend.
What happens if their ghost comes back?
We'll deal with that.
They got to appear in court.
We'll send them to you, Wiley.
We're calling Ghostbusters.
We'll call Lenny.
Cool experience.
Next, Tim has a little bit of information from the Solid Waste District. First is consent for dual representation because Tim represents the city of Decatur, also represents the Solid Waste District. That's the first thing he wants to bring up. And then the second thing would be the city agreement with the Solid Waste District for our disposal of our trash with the solid waste district. So go ahead, Tim.
Yeah, just as we've been doing some administrative details here with the nepotism certification, the conflict of interest, I'm supposed to get consents from both legal entities that I represent when there's a contractual relationship, which we have with the Solid Waste District. You get a similar resolution, or not resolution, but consent signed by both parties. So this basically is something that's been presented to the City Council for a number of years, but I do this because it's required through our professional rules of conduct. So it just allows me to represent both the city and the Solid Waste District, as well as maintain my private practice. But if there were ever a dispute that arose from the contract, then I have to step out and cannot be involved on either side. So I'd ask that you approve and sign the consent to represent both the city and the Solid Waste District.
Make a motion that we approve and sign the consent for them to represent the Solid Waste Board and our City Council. Second what you want to
So
say.
motion and a second for the joint representation.
Yep, please.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed, the same?
Okay, the next matter, this morning at the Solid Waste District meeting, the upcoming contract for disposal of waste by the city at the transfer station owned and operated by the Solid Waste District was approved by the district. It's now presented to council for approval. It's the same contract that has been used for many years. The one exception is that it now contains an escalator clause with regard to the price that is paid by the city. That was put into place about 3 years ago, because what happens is the city is given a discount because it's a large user of the transfer station. So it gets a discount compared to what's charged to other users at the transfer station. But what was happening about 3 or 4 years ago, they started looking at what the true cost of disposal was in terms of hauling from transfer station to the Jay County landfill and then paying to dispose of the waste at the Jay County landfill. And the true cost was significantly different than what the city was paying. So at that point, the district was talking about a $6 jump in 1 year. At the time, Mayor Schultz was on the board, and he and Mayor McKean from Byrne requested that they spread that over 2 years so that it lessened the impact to the city and the city could better budget for it. The second thing was that they said that rather than have big jumps like that, can it be spread out, incrementally over time. So the escalator clause was put in. It's the same escalator clause that is contained in our hauling contract and the landfill contract. It's based on the CPIU that's put out by the Department of Bureau of Statistics and the Labor Department, and it's based on a 12-year or a 12-month period running from November of 1 year to November of the next. And the reason November is used is that doesn't get reported out until December 13th or 15th, so that's the latest that we can find out what that increase is before we get into the next year. So the impact of that was that it increased the per ton rate to the city of about 94 cents, I believe.
94 cents.
It was a 2.2% increase over what was paid this year in 2017.
Does it give you an overall cost?
Yes, the total cost per ton under the contract that the city will pay in 2018 is $43.86 per ton.
And that's 94 cents per ton more, or 2.2% more than what we paid this year.
Question.
Yeah.
So will we expect then an increase next year as
Yes,
well?
it's tied to the
Every year?
CPIU
It's
every
gonna
year.
be okay. I don't know why I had an understanding that last year when that increase went up, it was good for a couple of years, and
Yeah, what was that 5-year contract we negotiated with, Jeremy? Wasn't that something about 5 years last year?
No, there was, the increase was like the proposed frozen every year. You had a larger increase in the beginning, and then it was like, I believe it's like 80 or 90 cents per year for the balance.
Based on the CPI?
This is not a surprise. Jeremy was expecting this and built it into his budget
Okay.
for next year.
It's budgeted.
Yeah.
We're good.
All right.
So,
Yeah.
Tim, you
I
want-
need a motion to approve the transfer station contract.
Make a motion to approve the transfer station contract for 2017-2018 year. Second it.
a motion and a second to approve the agreement with the Solid Waste District for disposal. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Opposed, the same. Thank you. Next, Jeremy has requested
I was expecting
that we present an ordinance for no parking on Sunset Lane. Is that right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
You give me that look like, what? Yeah, Sunset Lane, which is, it used to be a street that you could turn off of US 224 Monroe Street and go up the hill in Stratton, and now that has been barricaded off, and also there's a fence there as well, and there's a cul-de-sac at the end, and it's a dead-end street coming down the hill. And I think it's because of what we want to do is make it no parking in that area, because when we have our garbage truck service or a fire or whatever, there's just not enough room for turnaround with people parked there. Is that right?
Correct. The street's only wide enough for one vehicle to go down to get into the cul-de-sac. And we've had a couple instances in the last 2 weeks of people parking down into there, and we cannot get around and just perform our services. Reported it to the fire department. They also agreed that they can't get turned around if someone's parked down into there. So it's more of an access concern.
This is the ordinance.
I do.
Many years ago, before a lot of you were, or some of you were involved, we had this discussion when we adopted an engineering portion of that,
23.
that it would need to be done after
No wonder I'm
the
tired.
project
No.
on local ordinance. So I'm just requesting that at this time the project is completed. We just need to make it no parking in the cul-de-sac.
Okay. This will be, this would be ordinance 2017-23. Go ahead. Scott?
So you're saying there's no parking in the circle area, but they could park by their driveway if they wanted to, or none at all?
A lot of them are parking kind of off to the side. It's just more in the cul-de-sac, because once we get down that street,
Yeah.
now
You
we
can't
can't
get
get
out.
turned around and we have to back all the way out.
So they could park on the street if they wanted?
Just not in the circle?
Not in the cul-de-sac itself, correct.
So what do? Yellow, paint it? You paint it yellow?
Sign it yellow, paint it in the spring. We will sign it yet this year, or after the ordinance is passed, and then paint it in the spring.
Gotcha. This would be ordinance 2017-23. 23 ordinances this year. Tim just said, no wonder I'm tired.
Well, I'll make a motion to place ordinance 2017-23 on its first reading by short title only.
Real.
I second it.
A motion and a second to place ordinance 2017-23 in its first reading by short title only. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed, the same. Tim?
Ordinance 2017-23, short title, an ordinance of the Common Council of the City of Decatur which amends Chapter 78, Schedule 1 of the Decatur Code of Ordinances of 2015 as supplemented to establish a no parking zone in Sunset Lane.
I'll make a motion to adopt ordinance 2017-23 on its first reading.
I second it.
Second. A motion in 2 seconds to
Oh,
pass.
sorry, I didn't hear that.
To pass ordinance 2017-23 on its first reading by short title. Have roll call vote.
Craig Koshaw.
Yes.
Matt Dyer.
Yes.
Tyler Fulenkamp.
Yes.
Scott Murray.
Yes.
Wiley Sir.
Yes. I'll make a motion to place ordinance 2017-23 on its second reading by short title only.
I second.
Have a motion and a second to place ordinance 2017-23 on its second reading by short title only. All in favor? Aye. Opposed, the same. Tim?
Ordinance 2017-23, short title, an ordinance of the Common Council of the City of Decatur which amends Chapter 78, Schedule 1 of the Decatur Code of Ordinances of 2015 as supplemented to establish a no parking zone on Sunset Lane.
I'll make a motion to adopt ordinance 2017-23 on its second reading.
I second it.
Have a motion and a second to pass ordinance 2017-23 on a second reading. All in favor? Excuse me, roll call vote?
Craig Koshaw.
Yes.
Matt Dyer.
Yes.
Tyler Fulenkamp.
Yes.
Scott Murray.
Yes.
Wiley Sir.
Yes. We want to suspend? Okay, I'll make a motion to suspend the rules and place ordinance 2017-23 on its third reading by short title only.
I'll second it.
I have a motion and a second to place ordinance 2017-23 in its third reading by short title only. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed, the same? Tim?
Ordinance 2017-23, short title, an ordinance of the Common Council of the City of Decatur which amends Chapter 78, Schedule 1 of the Decatur Code of Ordinances of 2015 as supplemented to establish a no parking zone on Sunset Lane.
I'll make a motion now to adopt ordinance 2017-23 on its final reading, third reading.
Second.
I have a motion and a second for adoption of ordinance 2017-23. Would have roll call vote?
Craig Koshaw.
Yes.
Matt Dyer.
Yes.
Tyler Fulenkamp.
Yes.
Scott Murray.
Yes.
Wiley Sir.
Yes.
Brings me down to the mayor's report, and really all I wanted to say this evening is just kind of pay respect to a former city councilman that passed away, Troy Fennig. Troy was a very kind, good, humble man that I'm not sure, I think he served 11 years on city council. He was caucused in after somebody passed away, I'm not sure. Served 3 years of his first term and then 2 4-year terms, and Troy will be missed by his family. So, other than that, the only other thing that I have, I'm going to turn over to Mr. Baker. There's someone here in the room this evening who's mandatorily attending his last city council meeting, and that's Chief Greg Cook. So with that, I'm going to turn this over to Mr. Baker and allow Mr. Baker to do his thing.
Do you want to have him come forward?
Yeah, come on up here, Greg. Come on, come on. Now, if anyone has a pillow and you want to sleep, not be a good time, because this is long. But it's pretty long, 3 pages.
That's an easy read. This is going to get read, so I entertain a motion to introduce Resolution 2017-17.
I'll make a motion to introduce Resolution 2017-what?
17.
17? No.
Yeah, it
Yeah, it is, because we...
Okay.
Tim called me and I gave him...
And I'll second.
Okay.
Motion and a second to introduce Resolution 2017-17. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Tim, take it away.
Okay. Resolution 2017-17, short title, Resolution of the Common Council of the City of Decatur, Indiana, which recognizes Gregory A. Cook for his years of public service. Whereas Gregory A. Cook entered into a career in law enforcement with the Decatur Police Department in 1977 as a reserve officer, and whereas Gregory A. Cook was selected to join the Decatur Police Department as a full-time patrolman in 1982. And whereas Gregory A. Cook also served the Indiana Air National Guard as a member of the Security Police Force of Bearfield for 11 years at the time he joined the Decatur Police Department. And whereas Greg proved to be a valuable member of the Decatur Police Department as reflected in his promotions to sergeant in 1999, to deputy chief in 2008, and as chief of the department in 2014, all while serving under mayors Harold Miller, Fred Ish, John Schultz, and Ken Meyer, and police chiefs Dick Mansfield, Paul Rich, Dick Nowak, and Ken Ketzler. And whereas early on in his career, Greg showed his leadership qualities, serving as a general instructor, a firearms instructor, armorer, and an intoxilizer operator. And whereas throughout his career, Greg continued to take on leadership responsibilities and displayed a true commitment to his profession and his community, taking great pride in the professionalism of the department while cultivating a strong relationship with the citizens of Decatur. And whereas Greg constantly assisted in community events, whether coordinating traffic and crowd control or volunteering himself to serve during such events. And whereas Greg fully appreciated the importance of police protection to our community and fully understood the risk he and others within the department accepted as part of that thin blue line. And whereas Greg truly appreciated all with whom he served over the years and the wisdom passed down to him, which he in turn tried to pass down to others. And whereas Gregory A. Cook has announced his retirement effective January 2nd, 2018, ending a 35-year career of unselfish service to the citizens of Decatur, and whereas the Decatur Common Council wishes to acknowledge Greg's service to our community and wishes to express its gratitude for his contributions to the city, now therefore be it resolved by the Common Council of the City of Decatur, Indiana as follows. Resolved, the Common Council of the City of Decatur, Indiana finds that during his years of public service, Gregory A. Cook has been an exemplary public servant and has served the City of Decatur with distinction as he rose through the ranks from reserve officer to chief of the Decatur Police Department. Resolved, the Common Council of the City of Decatur, Indiana finds that Gregory A. Cook worked diligently and effectively to protect the safety of his officers and all citizens of the City of Decatur. Resolved, the Common Council of the City of Decatur, Indiana finds that the citizens of Decatur are indebted to Gregory A. Cook for his many years of dedicated service as a law enforcement officer, for his willingness to put his life at risk to protect others, and for his desire to maintain respect for citizens, his officers, and the department itself. Resolved, the members of the Common Council of the City of Decatur, Indiana hereby express their deepest gratitude to Gregory A. Cook for his leadership and service in his capacity as Decatur's Chief of Police and his effort to maintain the highest integrity and professionalism within the department. Resolved, the members of Common Council of the City of Decatur, Indiana wish Gregory A. Cook the very best in the future. Resolved, the Common Council of the City of Decatur, Indiana hereby spreads this resolution among the records of Common Council and directs that a copy be delivered to Gregory A. Cook in appreciation and recognition of his outstanding public service and his efforts over the years to keep Decatur a safe place for all. Duly passed, adopted, and resolved by the Common Council of the City of Decatur, Indiana on this 19th day of December, 2017, signed by the Common Council of the City of Decatur, Indiana, the Mayor, Kenneth L. Meyer, and attested by Phyllis J. Whitwright, Clerk Treasurer.
Now, before we go on, I would need a motion to adopt Resolution 2017-17.
I'll make a motion to adopt ordinance 2017-17.
Second. I have a motion and a second to pass Resolution 2017-17. All in favor? Aye. Opposed, the same. So that resolution contained no fewer than 11 whereases and 6 resolves. Greg, you got to follow up Tim's comments there. What can you say?
Thank you so much. I'm humbled by it. Like I've always said, I believe this job is a calling. I don't believe it's a job. And the fact that it was a calling and be able to work for a city like ours, Decatur, and to have people like yourselves that I can work for has been just such an honor. All the people in the city, especially on the police department, the people that I work with on a daily basis, I have to thank all of them, past and present. That's what's influenced my life the most. And again, I'm just humble. Thank you.
Thank you, Greg.
You get this one.
This will need a picture. Get down there.
Yeah, let's get a
down there and
picture.
Go down there and get your picture with him.
Why don't you get down there? I'll take a picture.
Well, you come with me.
Go shake his hand, Mayor. That's cool. What's up, sir? Social media.
Melissa will take it. Come down here. Sure.
Wait a minute, I'm gonna get one too.
Get a good picture, then go give it to the newspaper, so they have a good picture in the paper.
Wait a minute. Zoom in a little bit. Ready, guys? 1, 2, 3.
They can republish it.
Very good.
They can get pretty slim.
Okay, we're good.
Thank you. Thanks, Greg. Appreciate it.
He doesn't have no bills over gun. He probably doesn't. That was nice, Tim.
Yes, that was very nice, Tim. So that was 11 things we had on our final city council agenda for 2017. It's quite a year. Our departments were really, really busy, and they still are busy. And when I say they're busy, Phyllis will attest to it. I mean, Phyllis keeps telling me, how can we be this busy? And I've only been at this 2 years, so I didn't know how busy the actual job was, but it's very busy, and I'm really enjoying it. So, with that, do council members have any comments or anything to bring up?
Just like to wish everyone a very Merry Christmas.
Thank you.
And a Happy New Year.
And department heads, Lenny, soon to be.
Where we go?
Greg,
Just on behalf...
last chance.
Just on behalf of the police department, I want to thank you all for the Decatur dollars and wish you all a Merry Christmas.
Thank you. Les?
Echo Greg's thought on thanks for the Decatur dollars and Merry Christmas. You've been a great council to work with. Just been a good year.
Jim? Kevin?
Merry Christmas. Congrats, Greg. Thank you.
Don?
Yeah, Merry Christmas, thanks for everything. Madison Street's still going on. Brumfield's been there working hard.
Yeah. We need to stay above freezing.
Yeah.
Kurt?
Merry Christmas, congrats, Greg. The city's growing,
Yep.
construction's booming.
Yep. Ann?
Merry Christmas, thanks for the $2. Congratulations, Greg.
Bill?
Well, I wasn't part of this resolution, but as a Board of Works member for the last,
As a code enforcement officer.
with no gun.
But that's in the minutes, Bart. That's probably a good thing.
There's a reason.
Being on the Board of Works for the last 6 years, and working closely with the police department and with Greg, I want to congratulate him and thank him for being such a good person to work for or with. And I know I've given him a hard time a few times, but it's been a pleasure, and congrats, and God bless you, and I hope everything works out well for you in retirement.
Thanks so much.
Thank you, Bill. Jeremy?
Greg, it's been great working with you. We worked together a lot on some different things. In response to your comment about how busy we've been, we've had a great 2017. Some great years prior to that. You have to be really proud of your workforce.
I am.
And throughout all the departments, you know, everyone's really pulled together. They've really done a wonderful job. I can't ask for any better group of guys. You really need to be proud of what they've accomplished and what there still is to accomplish. So,
Yep. Thank you, Jeremy. Melissa?
Yes. In your mailboxes at the end of the week, everyone in Decatur should be receiving their 2018 Curbside Recycling card. It looks the same as last year. It will come in your mail looking just like this, so look around your
It's
junk
not junk mail, folks.
Don't throw
Bob?
it away.
It's not junk mail.
Put on your fridge for 2018, it's like a calendar for recycling and heavy trash on the front, and your rules about what you should and shouldn't do on the back side. So please check your mail, check out for this. We don't have a lot of extra, so...
And we are mailing that out by U.S. mail this year. It's a little different than last year.
We're going to try that this year. And we've got a video on Facebook today. If you want to share that, to kind of get the word out to let people know to check their mail. and we'll continue reminders throughout the week.
Thank you.
Everybody gets one?
I'm sorry?
Everybody gets
Everyone with a Decatur city in the city limits.
You don't have to be signed up for recycling.
No.
No. We're using the Every Door direct mail service at the post office, so there will be some folks that don't get city trash pickup, so we'll get this because of how we're mailing them, but they can utilize our drop-off location. So this still can apply to folks who don't get city recycling pickup.
Right. Okay, public.
Merry Christmas and a blessed New Year to you all.
You too. Lastly, Tim and Phyllis.
Merry Christmas to everyone.
Hope it's a good year in 18.
It will be. It was a tough beginning of the year for me with a couple losses in my family, but it turned out to be a really good year. So, thank you, everyone. Look for a motion to pay the claims.
So moved.
Second. Have a motion and a second to pay the claims. All in favor? Aye. Opposed, the same?
Motion to adjourn.
Motion and a second to adjourn. All in favor? Aye. Opposed, the same? We are adjourned. Thank you.